What's up, guys? It's your buddy, 5-Bar Doom. I just wanted to give you a little update. It's a little frustrating, to be honest. I pop in my camera card to cast some matches from this weekend, and I had a bunch of matches that are very frustrating, and I do have those, so I will be casting them. But then I had some matches that were, well, basically one match in particular where Beth was playing front the first game, and she absolutely dominated. And it looks like that didn't record for some reason. So that was very frustrating. Also, I think the final match we played against Sean and his dad also didn't record. So this weekend I had some issues with Wi-Fi up at the bar. And I think like the GoPro kept turning off. So I think what I'm going to do, just like a heads up, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop live streaming. I'm just going to record the matches and then do the commentary on them. Because that's been basically the most fun. A lot of you guys are watching, and yeah, I've been really enjoying it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'll just bring my GoPro, I'll record the matches, and then cast them after the fact. But I probably won't live stream. The other thing I might do is I might go double camera, where one is just recording, one is live streaming. Because the problem is, like, if the Wi-Fi goes out, then the camera stops recording. So anyway, a little bit of technical difficulties here. But yeah, anyway, that's kind of the update on the streams. As far as the upcoming matches that I have casted, I have a really good match coming out tomorrow night. It's Michael Stahl and his dad, Mike Stahl, both pros. And this is from Mike Wyrowski's house. The winner goes into the finals of that tournament, and it's a best of 5. So that's a really good match, and I hope you guys like it. So that one is going up tomorrow. I do have some other matches from this weekend's tournament that I will be doing more commentary on. So I'll start recording those tonight or tomorrow, and those will kind of go up on the subsequent days. Also, they're having as a lot of you guys hopefully have in your area, they're having a Thanksgiving, like a turkey draw type of thing, just like a mega draw, like they always do, except they're doing it on Wednesday. So yeah, so I'm gonna try to get up to that and record those matches so I can cast them as well. That's about it for that. I guess the other thing I kind of was thinking about going off. We'll see how far I get into this rant. I don't really know. Because basically, like, I kind of partner. I had posted a video earlier where I was going off about tournaments, mostly about the payouts and obviously lack of jackets. I mean, as you can see, I'm lucky enough to have this beautiful jacket, but tournaments nowadays, it's hard to come by fine. I mean, look at this jacket, dude. I mean, this is right. I mean, this is beautiful, beautiful jacket. It's got my name embroidered on it, 5-Bar Doom. This is a lovely jacket. So I did want to start showing it off in these videos because I know these jackets are really hard to come by, and I'm very, very proud of this one. But then I started thinking, so somebody posted with a really good comment, and their comment was, why do we play? For the love of the game. Pretty simple, and it is true because we love to play foosball. And that is why we play. And then I kind of started thinking, like, well, why isn't that good enough for me? Or what else, what do I not like about these tournaments? You know what I mean? And I guess, like, for me, like, I guess just a thing about tournaments in general, and maybe this is just like the nature of the beast. You know what I mean? But with tournaments, I guess another frustrating thing about these tournaments is just like the way they lock you in the room. You know what I mean? Like, so I'll just talk about that a little bit. I think you guys have all experienced this. You go show up at a tournament, you get there, maybe it's even in a cool city, right? You go to like New Orleans, you go to Vegas, you're like, oh sweet, I'm in Vegas this week. This is going to be badass. Guess what, dude? It's not going to be that badass because you're going to be locked in this conference room the entire time. So, yeah, that's pretty rough. I mean, basically the way these tournaments work is if as soon as you sign up for one tournament, if you're still in that tournament, you can't leave the room. You know what I mean? Now, it is actually way better nowadays than it was back in the day. Like, back in the day, I mean, it's 1,000 times better with the text alerts. You know what I mean? Because you can go up to your room and like run back down. Back in the day, you basically had like brackets that were just like paper brackets like on the wall. I remember when they started doing the announcements, like they would just have computer like read the matches. So you'd either have to like go up to the board and like see where you are on these tournaments, or you'd have to listen for the computer guy that'd be like, table 5, Mark Madej, Mike Beatty versus Josh Sarby, Michael Stahl. You know what I mean? And it was just like that droning voice like the whole weekend. That was pretty brutal because you did have to really just pay attention to it. And like I've definitely lost matches where I just didn't hear, literally you're probably in the room, you don't even hear your name. And then you realize like, you know, matches later, like, oh shit, I got dropped out of this tournament. You know what I mean? I remember a couple big singles tournaments like that where, you know, I won my first match, didn't hear anything for like a couple hours. And I'm like, what's going on? Then you go up to the desk and you realize like, oh shit, they're like 5 matches past it and you're just completely out of luck. You know what I mean? So tournaments today are better because you do have the text alerts, which are awesome. The software is awesome. I mean, software was non-existent back in the day. Even the IFP software, you know, the website is pretty crappy, but it was still pretty badass compared to the old system of you just had to be in the room and you had to like literally go up to the desk and maybe there's like a wall where there's tournament posted, or I don't remember exactly how it worked, but I'm talking early 2000s, you know what I mean? So it is better than that. But the problem is like you really can't go anywhere the entire week unless you get eliminated. You know what I mean? If you get eliminated and you're not playing that many events, yeah, you could leave before the next tournament you're in starts. You know what I mean? And honestly, like for me personally, that has pushed me to play less tournaments because I'm like, why would I even sign up for this where I'm just stuck in the room? You know, for example, like I've been like Vegas, like back in the day, I'd play a tournament, like a draw. It would be like night 1, like a giant draw. You know what I mean? Cool tournament because there's like a bunch of people in it. But, you know, the draw might start on Friday or something, and the finals wouldn't even be till like Sunday. You know what I mean? You have no clue when the finals are going to be. You have no clue when your match is going to be. Like you're basically just completely stuck in the room. And the problem too is like there's just zero luxury. You know, like because like I said, you're on vacation, right? You're on vacation. Maybe they're with your friends. You're there with your wife or your family, and you're hoping to have some fun, ideally. But you know, you can't really leave the premises and like go to a nice dinner, you know, drive 20 minutes to like some cool place and hang out for a couple hours. You really don't have that opportunity unless you get knocked out. Or if you just somehow, yeah, I mean, basically you have to get knocked out of the tournament. You know what I mean? And sometimes you like, maybe you're not going to get called for like 4 hours or 5 or 6 hours. You know what I mean? And there's no way to tell like what's going to go on. And honestly, I think a lot of it is up to tournament directors' discretion as well. Like if you're buddies with the tournament director, you're going to have a lot better insight into if you're going to get called or not. Or, you know, they might, you know, if they know their friends are out, they're not going to call their friends. But if you're not in that inner circle, you're kind of screwed, right? So the overall experience of playing these tournaments outside of your matches, which are fun, but there's just a lot of waiting. You know what I mean? And if you're playing a ton of events, especially if you're like a lower ranked player, then you really are kind of just a prisoner to that room. Like you cannot leave for more than a few minutes. You know, if you're just like, okay, there's a Wendy's 10 minutes away, you know, you can drive over to Wendy's and get in that drive through, but you're literally risking your tournament life just praying that you don't get called, right? So that's pretty brutal. I guess another thing that is rough, especially for like people that don't stay up late typically, like, you know, for me, if I'm on my game, I'll get up and I'll go like 6 a.m., go to CrossFit, you know, you're in bed by 10. Like I'm typically not up that late, you know what I mean? On the weekends, yeah, I might stay up till midnight, 1 a.m. to play the draw or whatever it might be. But a lot of times these tournaments just run kind of poorly, you know what I mean? Like you'll see like early in the week, matches are taking a long time to get going. They're not really enforcing recalls that much, or, you know, people aren't putting people on recall. It's just like, it takes forever to get these matches rolling, you know what I mean? So then, like, tournament goes and goes and goes, and kind of gets to the end of the tournament weekend, and it's like, oh shit, it's you know, it's Sunday night. We got to wrap up this tournament by Monday morning. So what are we gonna do? We just got to keep calling matches, you know what I mean? Like, I was in multiple finals that I was in, like Bardo. You know, Bardo, we got second place. Boom, right here. And that match got called at like 4 a.m. You know what I mean? 4 a.m., dude. It's just like, cool, guess what? You're up. Like, you're just waiting hours and hours and hours. And you could get called literally at any time. It just really depends when the tournament director decides to call it. So it's just kind of like a brutal situation. You know what I mean? Especially if you're not staying up late. I know, like, hey, you're a younger kid. You love staying up late. Maybe that works out for you. I'm just talking about for me personally and my lack of motivation to tour. You know what I mean? So I mean, overall, it's like you're paying luxury prices, right? It's like these tournaments cost so much to enter. Entry fees are high. Table fees are high. You're paying for your own ball. No frills, right? And then what's the experience like? Not good, man. You know what I mean? Not good. You know, you pretty much wake up, you're in that room from, you know, 9 a.m. to 2 a.m. or something, and then next day just repeat. Do that for like 3-4 days. And then like the most consequential matches inevitably are super duper late, like Sunday, you know, Monday morning essentially at like 4 a.m. or something like that. So I guess to me that's just like, that's obviously just me bitching about tournaments more, which you're going to get a lot of that on this channel. So if you like that, you've come to the right place. But yeah, that's kind of to me, like, besides the awful payouts, besides the lack of beautiful jackets like this, you know, it really is like the experience at these tournaments is just bad. You know what I mean? And then you're also like, you're stuck in the hotel. It's like, what are you going to eat? You know what I mean? It's like, they're going to have one restaurant. It's overpriced. It's not that good. You know what I mean? That's kind of like the story. You go to, you know, this story at all these tournaments. You know what I mean? Not a lot of options. And you're just kind of waiting around a lot. You know what I mean? And waiting around is cool at first. Like, you know, you see some buddies from out of town and, you know, that type of thing is cool. You catch up a little bit. But yeah, as the weekend drags out, you're kind of just like, what am I doing with my life, dude? Like, because really also it's like, if you're paying for travel, you're paying for hotel. Those things are constant with any type of vacation. Because essentially, like, you're taking time off and it is a vacation, right? It's like you're taking vacation at work, you're spending all this money. You know, it should be like a fun experience. Or at least like that's what you would compare it to, is like, where else would I go on vacation? You know what I mean? So you go there, you pay for the hotel, pay for the entry fees, pay for travel. At that point, you're paying like thousands of dollars. So like, I could have gone on a cruise. I could have gone to, you know, could have gone to Florida. I could have gone to whatever warm location you like. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of what you're comparing it to. Because at least like when the payouts were good, it's like, well, you know, the experience isn't that great, but, you know, maybe I come back with a sweet jacket. Maybe I come back with a table. That was just way more common back in the day. I'm not going to see any tables on the Vegas payouts this year. And, yeah, man, it just kind of sucks. So, you know, I'm hoping that I keep playing a bunch, and maybe if I play better, I'll somehow be more motivated to tour and play these things. But yeah, when I think about like the love of the game, it's like you might love the game, but it does make it really hard to make you want to tour. I mean, honestly, that's where it kind of comes back to these local tournaments are really kind of like the pinnacle, unfortunately, of foosball right now for me, because it's like travel, 0 cost. Hotel, none. You're at home. You know, The entry fees and the payouts are still terrible. I don't know where the money is going in these fucking tournaments. There's just, you know what I mean? The payouts are still terrible in these locals. But you know, whatever. You know, it truly is like love of the game. You know what I mean? Like, I'll go up to Bebo on Saturday. I'll play with you guys. It's a lot of fun. And that is like a love of the game situation. But you know, in like a major traveling to a tournament type of thing, you know, like a weekly tournament, you can't compare that to a vacation, obviously, right? It's just like, it's a night out. You know what I mean? So, you know, you go to the foosball tournament, have a couple laughs, play a 3-4 hour tournament. You're done. You get to go home. Maybe you get paid out. You know, overall, that's a pretty decent night. Compare it to like a movie. You know, go to dinner and a movie, or you go to the foosball tournament. You eat at the bar, play a tournament. That's a pretty good night. You know what I mean? Like, overall, if you compare like what you would do on a normal night, something else, you know, go to a comedy show, go bowling, whatever it might be, versus go to a foosball tournament actually stacks up pretty good. You know what I mean? But if you're talking about taking days off of work, traveling across the country, paying for a hotel, paying for a room, paying these absolutely ridiculous entry fees, and then with no big payouts in sight, that's a much tougher comparison, you know, compared to like other vacations that you could take. You know what I mean? And honestly, I don't know like what the argument is for going to these things. You know what I mean? Like, why are you guys going to these tournaments? Well, number one, like, are you going to these tournaments? What's your experience? You know, I would like to hear from you guys in the comments. You know, maybe I'm wrong, dude. Maybe these tournaments are badass and there's something I'm missing. But yeah, it seems pretty bad, dude. So, you know, I think maybe my life will just have to live out as ideally local crusher, in reality, local punching bag. But, you know what I mean? Maybe that's just where I'm going to fall in the foosball ecosystem and just kind of level out there. You know what I mean? Because, or, I mean, I guess another option, you know, if you are going to travel, I think it's actually better. Like, for example, there's, you know, we live, you know, I'm in the Metro Detroit area. Chicago is like a 4-hour drive. And they have like a weekly, you know, bring your partner or something. I don't know what the details are in this tournament, but I know they have some weekly tournament, right? So you could like drive down there, play that one tournament. You know the tournament's going to last from like, you know, 8 p.m. to, you know, up to the end of the night, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., but it's going to be over that night as well. So you can go and get your foosball fix, see some new people, have some fun, you know. You're not getting paid out huge, but you're also not paying huge entries, right? Like, you're paying $10, maybe you can win like $40. You know what I mean? If I'm paying $200, you know, if I'm paying $10 and I might win like $50, that's 5 times my entries. You know what I mean? Like, if you go to like a state tournament, you're paying what, $300 in entries? How are you going to 5x that? You can't. You know what I mean? It's literally impossible. Yes, I know. If you're winning open, fine, dude. If you're within, you know, these 2 people that travel around, great. But I'm saying for like normal people, it's not a very good situation. So I almost think like it's really better to just find these places where like just go to a weekly tournament out of town. You know what I mean? You go down to Florida, play their Friday or Saturday night tournament, but like during the day you can go to the beach, you go hang out, you know. You do that like Saturday night as like the thing you do Saturday night. Be still are there Friday, you can hang out and have fun. Saturday during the day, you can have fun. Sunday, you can have fun. And yeah, Saturday night, you're locked in the tournament room. But, you know, overall, like from a vacation perspective, that seems better to me. You know what I mean? Than like travel to Vegas. Basically, you don't even get to like do Vegas. You know what I mean? I mean, sure, you can like go out, and that's the thing too. It's like Vegas is a good example actually, because like you can go out at night after the tournament, and you know, don't get me wrong, a lot of people do it, but then you're just completely sacrificing your foosball. You know what I mean? Like if you're not getting sleep, you're not getting good rest, you're going out drinking, doing whatever else, you know, you're basically just saying like, I'm not going to perform well in this tournament tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's kind of the way it is. So you can either like go there, be a prisoner to the room, get out, immediately go to bed, try to get as much sleep as you can. And this is how I treat these majors if I go to them nowadays. You know what I mean? As best I can. You know, if I'm drinking and stuff, you know, that's a different story. But you know, it just seems better. Like, you're already paying for travel. You're already paying for hotel. Why go to a major at this point, dude? It would be better to just be like, you know, what cool city has some foozers there that I don't really know? You go there. Maybe they have one tournament. You know, a lot of these cities are doing 2 tournaments. You know what I mean? Like here in Detroit, they'll do a draw and then they'll do a bring. It's not a bad night of foosball. You know what I mean? So if you travel to another city, where like Denver, good example. You know, Ray will do like, at least back in the day, he was doing like a singles tournament and like a bring. That's awesome. That's really fun. So you travel out there, play the singles and the bring. That's one night, kind of like, you know, that's your foosball night. But then you're in Denver. You're not locked in that same bar the entire weekend. You know, you can go out and go skiing, do whatever you want. You know what I mean? That just seems like a better experience to me than these majors. You know what I mean? It's just like the worst experience possible. Anyway, I just felt like just blasting a rant. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts, definitely want to hear your thoughts on the tournaments and how you kind of mentally deal with going to these long weekend tournaments, man. Like, am I missing something? Is it actually fun? Is it actually good value? And I'm just crazy? Like, what do you think? Let me know in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.